Good afternoon, everyone. It is 2 o'clock, and we thank you for joining us today. Today is actually day 3. My goodness, we've been through 2 amazing days. We had some great participation, and now today is day 3. And our topic today on this 2-week write-in challenge is lessons I've learned. And I know there's so many lessons that so many of us have learned. So it's kind of hard for us to pick one particular lesson that we're going to talk about. So today, again, joining me, I have Miss Maritza. Is Maritza on? Hold on. There we go. Miss Maritza Milia. And I have Miss Stephanie Williams. So welcome, ladies. How are you today? Awesome, awesome. How are you,
Doing
Stephanie?
great. Doing great.
Good, good, good.
It's a beautiful
So, ready to get into our topic today, lessons I've learned. You guys ready?
Yes.
All right. So, let's go ahead and, Miss Maritza, let's go ahead and start with you. And I would like each and every one of you to give the audience a lesson that you've learned, one, and also just give them some tips. So, Marissa, I'm going to go out to you first. So, if you can just give the audience a lesson that you've learned that you'd like to share, and also just give them a tip from you. You know, you've written many books, celebrating 10 years, which is an amazing accomplishment. So, let's go ahead and hear from you.
Okay, thank you. We are in day 3. That is wonderful progress that we're doing. And to begin with, remember that we started with home, the home memories, and the 3 process that I've been talking about is in 1, 2, 3 steps. The first step is right. And each topic that we are discussing, 1, 2, day 3, the idea is to open a fresh new paper, save it. So we're going to open a Word document, save it as a lessons learned, and write until you feel that you wrote whatever it came to your mind without end, without worrying about grammar, punctuation. Not just write. Because the second day, you read the document loud again, and you are going in this week, you are going to begin and end your document with a message. The previous weeks I told you to in the second day to add substance to your skeleton framework of your writing by adding adjectives and adverbs. So by this third week, I'm sure you know how to do it. So at this time, what you're going to do is to write a nice beginning. We call it hook, something that grabs somebody's attention. Maybe a joke, maybe a Bible quote, maybe an inspirational quote from another author, but something that grabs the attention of the reader. And when you finish reading again what you wrote on the first day, you are going to add an ending, a message, something that you want the audience to receive from you, a reflection, a message. It's called a singer. So remember, start with a nice beginning, a hook, and then with a nice message to think about, a reflection. So the third day, you are going to read it again, and you're going to convince yourself, oh, this is a great hook, or this is a great message. If not, write it again and edit it so you until you are convinced that this is a great hook and a good thinking message that you're giving to your audience. So this is my my challenge for day 3 and my advice as a writer that you try.
Awesome. I love that. You got to start it off with a hook, something that's going to catch the audience.
Yes.
Yeah. So also, what is a lesson that you would like to share that you've learned since we're on this topic today? So what's a lesson that you've learned that you would like to share with the audience?
Well, I have plenty of lessons. First of all, let's talk about what we are experiencing in these 40 days of quarantine. We are practically arriving to our 50 days in quarantine. What I learned during this time is that I'm really patient, resilient with the circumstances, and accommodate with what is unfolding in front of me. I don't feel the reason to complain, to feel bad about it, and just don't worry about why did this happen to me. What I'm worried about is, what is this for me? What can I learn from this? And this is what I learned, that we have to be patient. We have to accept the circumstances. There are things that you cannot change. And this is what I learned. I think this is a year that I cannot change. I was supposed to be celebrating today 10 years anniversary as writer with a huge event. I was supposed to be in Japan, and nothing that I planned happened. Since January, everything changed. Everything was canceled. Everything was postponed. So I have two options: get mad, upset, frustrated, or option 2, accept it, have compassion, resilience, and hope for the best. So I decided to take my second option. So I hope for the best. This is what I learned, that you have to hope for the best.
That that was very poignant for you to say that the lessons that you've learned is during this time, because I do feel that during this time, there's a lot of things that's going on. Anxiety is swirling very, very high above our heads. People that may not have experienced anxiety before, they're experiencing that. And this is something very present, very in our faces every day. So I think that is really amazing. And, you mentioned that you were supposed to be in Japan. Being in Japan across the world, doing a great big celebration for what God has blessed you with over these last 10 years, for you to accomplish what you've accomplished. That would get some people down. But the fact that you're able to look at it and realize, there's really nothing that you can do about it, but just go on. So, I want to say thank you very much for sharing that, because I think that's a very great lesson. So thank you for that. You're welcome. So we're going to go out to Miss Stephanie. Miss Stephanie, so what is a lesson that you've learned that you want to share, and also some tips for our authors?
Okay. A lesson I've learned is to live in the present moment, let go of the past by creating a place of healing for yourself and forgiveness, and plan for the future so you can continue to take memorable action steps in your present moment. Your experiences lead you to your purpose, and knowing that your experiences lead you to your purpose, and remembering that every experience that you endure, the pain, the hurt, the anger, all of that is an experience for you to gain knowledge and wisdom for what's to come in your future. So take it as a lesson, and what it is, and it will help create that purpose that you have in life that God created you for. God has allowed us the power to overcome and be conquerors so that we can be creators of our destiny and our legacy. That's why my mind stays fixed in the word by his scriptures, in church, constantly being encouraged, And because our purpose in life is greater than our own. It's far greater than our own understanding. So looking towards the word of God and praying and looking for his direction helps guide us and helps us make the best decision for our lives. So that's another lesson that I also learned. And he created us in our own image. So we are worthy of carrying our own purpose without shame and without guilt. And our past is holding us, and not allowing our past to hold us back and to help us move forward in life. As it states in the scriptures, Proverbs 3, verse 6, seek his will in all you do, and he will show you which path to take. And in 2 Timothy 1, verses 7, he says, For the Spirit God gave us does not make us timid, but gives us power, love, and self-discipline. So those are lessons that I've learned throughout my whole entire life.
Awesome. So in terms of tips for our authors today that are watching, would the tips be encompassing that, or would you have any additional tips that you could give them?
So for additional tips for writing, I would say let go of the anxiety, because I know that sometimes anxiety is attached to writing, especially when it comes to past and re-triggering emotions and thoughts and feelings. And also it also starts making you think too much sometimes, where you overthink, and then it prevents you from even writing. It prevents you from even taking the step further. So to let go of the anxiety, and just continue to write. And your writing has purpose. Your writing is going to help somebody else. So just remember to continue to write and to continue to be used, and allow God to direct your path.
Awesome. That is awesome. And at the first day of the challenge, we talked about all three of us being authors in different walks of our lives. And so I mentioned about the book my first book that I co-authored. And so this is the book, International, where's the camera here? Here we go. International Day of the Girl, Walking Our Life. And Stephanie Williams is an author as well. And so I wanted to share something in terms of lessons that I've learned. I just wanted to read something from the book. So my chapter is the last chapter. It's on diversity. And so reading for the book, I started, "You'll never make it as a Black woman in America," said Andy in August of 1992. What a blow that was to my ego. Andy was my boss, a white man from London, England, who prior to that comment had trusted me to build his multi-million-dollar resort and later to operate the property. Our work relationship lasted for 4 years. Never would I have expected that telling him that I was leaving the company in Antigua in the West Indies to pursue my education would result in that reaction. Other quote, "If you were not my granddaughter, I wouldn't love you because you are Black. You look like a giraffe. Where you come from, you swing on trees." I started off the book with those three quotes because throughout my life, it was always an issue for everybody else of me being Black. Not just being part of the Black race, but also my complexion, where my grandmother said that if I wasn't so Black, she wouldn't love me. That, in terms of lessons that I've learned throughout my life, my grandmother, loved her dearly, she loved me dearly. It's just that when you go back generations in the African American community, they were coming out of slavery, so they could only perpetuate what they knew. So I do not hold that against her, but as I grew up, I learned that I need to be comfortable in my own skin. I need to be me. I need to learn to love me, and it's not everybody else telling me what my complexion is, what my race is. I already know that. I wake up in this body, in this skin every day. But everybody else had an issue with it, and I made that my issue. So in terms of lessons that I have learned, which that was a huge lesson for me, learn to be you and make no excuses for you. Because the way that we arrive here, we don't have any. I could not have made a decision to be another color person. I couldn't be white. I couldn't be of any other race. So as we arrive here, We just need to be comfortable in who we are, and we don't need to make excuses for who we are. And I think that's one of the things that a lot of people struggle with, in terms of writing. That can be an issue too, because if you're trying to be authentic in your writing, if you don't feel authentic in yourself, you're not going to portray that in your writing. So the other tip that I wanted to leave everybody with is, um, a tip for wherever you are. So just remember this acronym: WRITE. WRITE. The W is for writing. The R is for the reality. So I need to be authentic in my reality of I'm a Black woman, I'm a dark-skinned Black woman. So whether you're going to write fiction or you're going to be writing about your own life, whatever that reality is, don't try to color it, make it palatable for anybody else. That's your reality. So that's the R. And the I is inspiration. In anything that we do in our life, there's some sort of inspiration that we grab from something. So the I is inspiration. And the T is your testimony is amazing. You are an actor. I say this all the time. You are an actor in the movie. You just happen to be playing a part. Whatever that part is that God gave you, you're just playing a part. But at the end of the day, that's your testimony. And your testimony is beautiful. So just remember that T in testimony. And then the E, every single time we put all 4 or 5 of those things together. So your writing is reality, gives inspiration, your testimony, and be authentic every single time. Don't try to be somebody else. Don't water it for somebody else. Don't color it for somebody else. Don't worry about somebody else's feelings, because at the end of the day, like I said, we're actors in the movie. It's not your part that you played. It's not your mom's part. It's not your sister's part. It's not your aunt's part. It's your part. You can only talk about your part. And a lot of times, and the reason why I'm saying this is because obviously as an author, and you're going to write about your own story, you're going to be writing about things that may trigger other people. You're going to be writing about things that may not be exciting to other people. Or people may say to you, oh my goodness, I did not know that you experienced that. I'm so sorry you experienced that. But at the end of the day, that's your story, right? So if the tip that I can leave any of you that are watching now or watching on the replay, whenever you do, just remember that it's your story. You happen to be, just think, God picked you to be that actor. Now, it may not be, the story may not be a love story, or it may not be this great emotional drama that at the end it ends up really beautiful. We don't know what the genre is. But if you just think about it, that as you go through that, there's going to be a testimony at the end. And like Stephanie says, that your story is for somebody else. Because I really believe that when we go through something like Maritza mentioned, the time that we're in now with coronavirus 19, we're all going through this. And for me, I've taken this time to record. And when I say record, what I do sometimes depends on how I feel emotionally. I'll just take my phone out and I'll just record, because I want to hear my voice, because I want to hear the reflections in my voice. I want to hear how I'm feeling during that time. So I don't just want to write it down. I'm really big into feelings. So I want to record and capture how I feel. Later on, I'll go and I'll transcribe it. But for some days, I really want to hear how I'm feeling. Because like I said, I'm going through this. I'm the actor. I'm playing my part in this whole thing. So I don't know how Stephanie's feeling, how Maritza's feeling. I know about me. So I'm recording myself. I'm also writing. There's days that I choose to write. But I really want to capture this time, because I really believe that this is, well, yeah, this is a momentous time. There's none of us that have ever experienced anything like this. We don't know one day when we wake up how we're going to feel. And the other thing is that we should not be in control of how we feel. I think during this time, if anybody feels that they need to be in control of how they feel just to appease somebody else, that's the danger, right? So I just wanted to leave those tips with you guys. I hope it will be beneficial. I hope that it will help you throughout this challenge because I just wanted to just share what was on my heart. I forgot to mention at the top of the hour, if you are watching us for the very first time, just drop a one in the comments. And then if you have been here with us for the past 2 other days and the third day, just drop a two so that we know that we have some people returning. Here is Joanne. Joanne, how are you? She has been with us for a few days on the challenge. So thank you, Joanne, for saying that. Really appreciate you.
Yes.
So, ladies, any other tips before we wrap up? As we wrap up, any other tips that you want to leave with our viewers? Go ahead.
I would like to share the poem that I wrote in the book that you orchestrated. It shows how authentic and true I am to my story. And I want to give the tip of knowing the truth and speaking the truth, and allowing that to be able to help you in your writing. Earn your truth and speak your truth, and know that you have a voice and that you are worthy of it. So the poem is called The Sunflower. I reminisce to the days I was young. I blocked out scenes I dare not want to remember, but yet they flashed before me, unwanted and unwilling. Where abuse was my everyday reality, my norm. I was choked, starved, bitten, drowned, sat on, tied up, beaten till I couldn't feel no more. Dared to speak up, to only be fed back to the wolves. During those haunted and taunted times, I had to control my mind to learn how to spark the best interests and the best memories. When I close my eyes, I see nothing but darkness. In the middle of the darkness, there stood the tallest, brightest sunflower, reaching to the heavens, speaking to the heavens on my behalf, allowing the sun to beam so bright throughout the darkest moments so I can see the light, which would hope to know that tomorrow is another day, and I too shall grow like that sunflower reaching out towards the sun and soaking up the grounds, feeding my soul with inspiration, love, energy, and power to survive, and strength to endure. Till the day I become vibrant, strong, and beautiful, just like that sunflower I adored. Then it dawned on me that day is here, right now, because I did survive. I am that sunflower in the midst of the dark, shining brightly, standing tall, confidently and boldly, ready for my next task to conquer, to thrive, to win, and to prosper. I am my testimony. I am my past. I am my future, and I am my now, the sunflower that rised.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Awesome. Miss Maritza, do you want to add anything to our listeners, our viewers, for the replay for now?
I want to add a closing to about my book, Pixelize. One of
Yes.
the chapters, chapter 10, is regarding aging. And being here in the social media recently, the words of people aging or dying during this time that we are facing. Well, I read to you something. I read books, articles, talked to friends, and searched information on the internet trying to find an answer to my worries about aging. One day, while praying, I realized that everything was just in my mind. I could be old in my 30s, 40s, 50s. I was just more mature with more experience and knowledge. I was wiser, not older. Job 12:12 says, All men have wisdom. God has wisdom and power. All men have insight. God has insight and power to act. So we are aging with dignity and we are enjoying our wiser moments that we're living and write everything this week that you are learning because we are wiser every day.
Awesome. Thank you very much. So, viewers, today is our third day, and we've gone through home memories, your hometown, lessons I've learned. The last day that we will be together will be on a Thursday. I believe Thursday is the 30th, I believe. And that's going to be what motivates you. So if you notice that there's a theme here in these, all four of these categories, and it's to really spark, like I mentioned about inspiration. It is really to spark that inspiration of you starting to write something very positive about yourself. And at the end of the day, you're going to have this collective of these four different subjects that you can share, that you can, first of all, you have it for yourself. That's number one. And I think there's no greater pleasure than when we actually put something down on paper and then we can actually read it. Because a lot of times as we're going through different things, we're writing, we're jotting things down. But then to actually go back and read it again, I think that's a great thing. So home memories, your hometown, lessons I've learned, we've gone over today. And I really thank these ladies for really being transparent and sharing their memories. Stephanie, thank you very much for sharing that poem. I really hope that whatever we've done here today really can touch somebody's heart, inspire them to start writing. Because at the end of the day, your writing is something that's coming from you. It is something that lasts for generations to come. It is not just for now, but it's also you capturing your thoughts. Stephanie mentioned your truth. And it is also very healing. That's one of the key things. It's also very healing. Because a lot of times, and back to the climate that we're in now, everything was going so fast 2 months ago. All of a sudden, we've slowed down. What a great time now to write. What a great time to write. So, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for watching in the future. And we look forward to being here with you on Thursday, April 30th. I really hope it's the 30th at 7 p.m. So thank you, ladies, for sharing, inspiring. Really appreciate you. And we will see you guys back here next Thursday. Thank you. Bye-bye.